there's many moments where I couldn't even get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to get out of bed. But this has done so much for me personally. And I think that that's why I keep going.
Another episode of On the Road with the Loan Signing System. Here with signing agent Macarena out in beautiful Colorado. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
So good. This interview is 3 years in the making.
I just got done with my second signing ever. I had 2 this week, but they were my first ever signings. So I was really happy about that. But it took a lot for me to get here. I lack a lot of self-confidence. I lack a lot of that within myself. And also because of that, I think I have a huge fear of failure. So it really stops me from doing a lot of things that I want to do. There's always things that I want to do. I just don't do them because I don't believe I can, or I fear that I'm going to fail. I don't want to disappoint. I don't want to mess something up for somebody. I don't want to be the reason for somebody's disappointment. So that's what physically just handicaps me, and I freeze and I just don't move forward.
I am so proud of Macarena for so many reasons. Let's start with how much money you made last month.
14,500.
When you say that out loud, like, how does that feel?
Crazy. I'm astonished. I'm so surprised. I can't believe that I did that.
You did do it. And speaking of you did it, can you tell everybody through the first 9 months of this year how much money you've made?
Like 86,000 right now.
$86,000 in the first 9 months of 2020.
Yeah.
You know you're going to be a 6-figure signing agent this year.
We'll see. I hope so. I'm pushing.
No, we'll see, girl. When you think about where you've come, because for everybody watching, Macarena is one of my very first students. She was an LSS system really early on, but by the way, thank you for believing in me. You know, students like yourself have helped build loan signing system where it is. So I'm so proud that you took a chance on me. So I just want to make sure I say thank you. But look, 3 years ago to where you are now, I mean, could you envision that you were going to be a 6-figure signing agent?
Not at all. Not at all. I would see other people's videos and their comments and stuff, and I always thought, but there's no way. I don't see how they can do that, but it's very possible.
I mean, you're almost not 10 months in the year and you're already at 86,000. It is so possible. So, okay. I mean, look, we've done a ton of these interviews. I know you've seen these interviews. Your story, I think, is as inspiring as any of them, if not the most. I told you before this interview, I predict this is going to be the most watched interview that we've done so far because your journey is so inspiring. This is 3 years. This is not like, you know, year number 1, you made $100,000 like some of our students, and congratulations to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but this is a story of true perseverance. This is an incredible personal journey you have been on. So, you know, let's just kind of talk through your journey and talk through what it's taken you to get where you are. So if you don't mind, just kind of sharing your story and to use your words, the personal battles that you go through to get to the point of being a 6-figure signing agent.
Yeah. Well, I started in the mortgage industry as a loan officer assistant for a few years, and then I did processing for a few years. So that was all fine and dandy, except that I battled bipolar depression. And so it had gotten to the point working behind a desk and working for somebody else and having to be at an office all day, every day was just not good for me. And I needed to get out. I needed to find something else. I actually just left that job and got my commission right away, but didn't do anything with it because I was paralyzed. I was too scared.
Well, you know, let's talk through about something you said, and thank you for talking about something that a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about. And that the fact that you said that you battle bipolar depression, talk about like the battle you are, because you're not the only person that battle depression in this country, right? You're not, and you're probably, frankly, very few people are as open as willing, but I want someone else to hear from you. Like, I want you to inspire them. Like, I admittedly battle depression, and a lot of people don't think it's taboo to talk about. And so talk to someone else who has the same struggles that you're doing, and letting them know that they can do it. And being a signing agent is a business that you can get through, even if you go through those struggles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was difficult, but and I still have a lot of moments where I start to panic and I feel like I can't do this, or maybe that was a good run and that's it is what it is. But you can definitely make it what you want, this business. And even with bipolar depression, I mean, it brings on a lot of anxiety and makes you scared and paralyzed. You don't want to do things. You don't think you're good enough. You think people will see through you and feel like you are not capable of doing this. And I just kept pushing through. I don't know. I didn't want to go back to an office job.
Mm-hmm.
When
you said, and thank you again for talking through us. I know it can't be easy, but I know that you wanted to get on today and encourage others. And part of your inspiration of agreeing to this interview was it's about other people who may be going through the same battle that you are, And so when you say working in the office wasn't good for you, like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, for me, having to be somewhere and sit behind a desk all day, every day, it was just too difficult for me. And my bipolar depression got to the point where I got just so low that it takes a toll on your body, and it makes you tired, and you just have zero energy and no desire for anything. And I would go in my car during lunch breaks and just take naps. I would, say I had a doctor's appointment, but really I didn't. And I'd go and take a nap because I couldn't stay awake. I just wanted to sleep my days away. And so that's what I mean when I say that it just got too much for me. And having somebody check up on me, you only have an hour for lunch, or, I had to make sure I had the vacation time to take a day off if I wanted to, for my own mental health. And it just didn't make sense for me to work like that anymore.
Yeah, no, again, Macarena, I thank you for talking about this. And I wanted to share your story because, mental health, we need more awareness about mental health in this country, in my belief.
Yes.
And we need more heroes like you who are willing to talk about it. Because I think a lot of people don't want to talk about it. And the fact that you're willing to share your journey and not shy away from the mental health, and bringing awareness to your situation, I think will inspire other students and people watching this that, you can get through your battles and struggles and be an amazing signing agent. You made $14,000 last month, man.
Yeah, it's definitely important. It wasn't ever anything that I was ashamed of or scared to talk about. I think it needs to be talked about a lot more. And it not only helps, it'll help you to feel that you're not alone. If you speak up, there's so many people that deal with this and other things that are worse and harder in their life. And, you're never alone.
You're never alone. I love it. It's so awesome. It's such a great story. And thank you, and what was your hesitations going into it so we can maybe help someone else know that they're not alone with those same hesitations?
My hesitation going into becoming a signing agent was failure. That was my experience. That was what I was afraid of. I was afraid that I wasn't good enough, that I wouldn't, learn everything, that nobody would want to use me, that my business wouldn't grow. How can I do this? I had so many fears.
Yeah, I love it. I'm starting to tear up right now. It's like the fact that you ever felt that makes me sad, right? You're amazing. You're such a great signing agent. I know you for the years. I'm falling crying right now. But honestly, it makes me just so, I have tears of happiness of where you came from. The fact that you felt like you couldn't do this business to the fact that you're a 6-figure signing agent. And that's freaking beautiful. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah. I there's many moments where I couldn't even get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to get out of bed. But this has done so much for me personally. And I think that that's why I keep going. Also, I'm from Argentina. I came here to the States when I was young, and I was undocumented. And I didn't know that until I wanted to start driving and get a job at 16. So it wasn't easy. And so the fact that I am now able to do this for myself just brings me so much appreciation and gratefulness. And I just wish my dad were alive to see it, because he would be super proud. Even though, it still gets hard. I still have days where I'm working. I feel like it's taking a toll on me. I've been dealing with it for so long that I can sense when I'm starting to go down. But that is another benefit of this business, because it's mine. And when I start to feel that way, I may have, the beginning part of the week, 10 closings a day, but then I won't schedule myself. I just won't accept anything for a couple days, because I need that. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be able to do that had I not found this, had I not found you and your training, and everybody in these groups. They're also positive and encouraging, and that is so, so helpful. So.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, Macarena, I let me collect my thoughts. I'm just proud of you, man. Like I said, it's conversations we had early on. I didn't know what you go through personally, but, like I said, knowing you over the years, it's to think that you ever felt anything less than amazing saddens me, because, girl, you are amazing. I mean, you're a 6-figure signing agent, like incredible. And you just said something again so subtly. You just said, well, if I have 10 signings in a day, like, you've built a business where you're able to do 10 signings in a day. Think about that for a moment. Not only are you making $1,000, $1,500 a day, you're so good at what you do that you can actually complete 10 signings in a day. Mm-hmm. Think about it like that.
That's you and your training.
Thank you for saying that. But I mean, I don't want to take any credit for your amazingness, your greatness, because, like, it took me years to get to the point where I can do 10 signings in a day, make someone feel like they aren't being rushed, making the person feel like they're getting the full version of you and the signing that they deserve, but also be efficient enough to get to the next appointment and be able to do 10 signings a day. Like, that is a skill set that not every signing agent has. But again, you just said it nonchalantly, like, well, I can do 10 signings in a day and then take a couple of days off. Like, there's not many people in this industry who are capable of a 10 signing day. I mean, even a 5 signing day, right. Let alone a 6, 7, 8. And because it's someone who doesn't battle with it. I mean, I empathize and thank you for kind of explaining, what happens in this situation, because I had no idea. And it makes your journey even more inspiring to me, to know, like, how draining you can get and the anxiety. I mean, we're going to talk about through that anxiety in the beginning of your journey, but let's shelve that for later on this conversation, So, I always have seen, you've seen these interviews, and I always I start with the main question of, why did you become a signing agent? Like really why? Let's talk through the big why you made that leap over to being in this business.
Mm-hmm. I made the jump mainly because of my own health. I wanted, I thought this would be much better for me health-wise. I didn't want to work for somebody else and have to check in and ask for things for somebody else. And I just wanted something for myself.
Mm-hmm. let's help someone else who is going through the same battle as you, because on the outside looking in, they're, in my opinion, you'd have to foresee some anxieties. You're building a business that's not guaranteed, right? There's no guaranteed income, right? And so, I want to talk to someone else who may be going through the same struggles you are, who's saying like, Macarena, I don't know if I can handle the anxiety of not having a steady paycheck. I don't know if I can handle the go through kind of the struggles I go through if I'm not getting a realtor to use me. Can you talk through your struggles and how you can relate to someone who might be on the outside saying, there's going to be too much anxiety over here, and kind of talk through that, if that's okay?
Yeah. Of course there's going to be anxieties with that. You do just have to jump though. You just have to try. And it was very difficult. There's a lot of times where I did and still felt like I failed. Even though I put myself out there, I still felt like I failed. And it, got in my mind that maybe this isn't for me. This isn't what I should be doing. Maybe I should just stop it right now. But it's good to just keep pushing and fight through the anxiety. There is going to be anxiety, but I have a really great support system, and that helps me along and pushes me, continues to push me. And just one little success makes you feel like you can do another one and another one and another one. And each time it just gets bigger and bigger, and it's a good feeling.
I love it. Stacking wins, what I tell you guys. You call it stacking wins. You just got to stack those wins. You get one win, you get another. But no, thank you. And I think you hit on something kind of very softly there, and that's like you have a great support system. So, someone else who is thinking about joining this industry and kind of goes through those battles and struggles of depression, I think maybe the advice you're giving them is make sure that you have a good support system in place before you kind of make this jump into entrepreneurship and business ownership. Is that what I'm kind of hearing in that last sentence?
Absolutely. Yeah. I probably would have just given up if it weren't for, my friends and my family. My husband, he's my number one supporter and just pushes me along. And yeah, it's definitely an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
If it's something that you battle with.
Macarena, I'm so proud of you. I mean, honestly, I remember the phone calls we had early on in your journey of just like, you can do it. And the funny part is like, I didn't know you then as well as I know you now, obviously. And I didn't realize what you're going through, but now recalling back on our phone conversations, like you're so much stronger and amazing of a woman that I even knew when we were talking. And so,
thank you.
You did it, man.
Thank you.
You did it. I just see the look on your face of just like taking the moment. And I mean, this has been a 3-year journey, right? And, let's talk about that journey, if you may, because we have students who, I get emails saying after 6 months, okay, Mark, I haven't made more than $2,000 in 6 months. I quit. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, I get those emails, unfortunately, and I want to tell them, just hold on. It's coming. Right. And they get discouraged by seeing some of our other students do, $10,000 in their third month, and they haven't done more than $2,000 in 6 months. But, your journey is very similar to that. Mm-hmm. So I would love to talk with any of our students, period, right? I want to talk about your amazing journey because you're almost 3 years into the business, but your first year wasn't like this current year. Yeah. So let's talk about your income journey. And what did year number 1 look like for you? Let's talk about what you were making a month, maybe how much you think you made throughout the entire year. Talk about that so to inspire another student.
Yeah, so I think, I know the whole first year, I didn't break more than $1,000 a month. I was just making a couple $100s here and there. I was only working for signing services, and I might add only refis, because I was deathly afraid of purchases. I didn't actually start doing those until this year. So I don't think I made more than 10 grand in the whole year.
Okay, well, let's talk about that, right? So you never broke $1,000 and you're working 12 straight months in a month in a 30-day period is what I should say. You made maybe $10,000 the entire year. Mm-hmm. I want to get into the mindset of a 6-figure signing agent. I'm calling you that a little prematurely, but you're $86,000 in, but you're going to hit it. But I want to dig into the mindset, because you didn't see $10,000 your first year as a failure. You didn't see a month where you only made $200 as a failure.
No.
Talk through that with any of our fellow students who, are making maybe $800 and feel like they haven't made it. Like, could you imagine where your life would be income wise if you gave up after year number one?
Oh yeah.
Right. And so I want you to encourage and motivate someone else who might only be doing $1,000 a month. Like, what would you tell them? Why didn't you see that as a failure?
I think I didn't see it as a failure because I was building something for myself. I was starting to create my own business. Didn't matter really how much I was making. What it was doing for me emotionally and the benefits that it brought me, it outweighed everything else. And there were so many more pros. So I just never saw that as, a bad thing. There were so many more positive reasons and benefits that I was getting out of being a signing agent.
Well, okay, so I heard a couple things in there. So what I heard is that you accepted, which I think is important, that this is a marathon. Like you said in your words, I'm starting my business. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to obviously skyrocket the first year, but some people have a mindset that they should, but you didn't. You had a more healthy approach to the business, which is, I'm starting a business. Like 10 grand, 10,000 is 10,000 more than I started. So did you kind of have a mindset of like, this is a marathon, not a race? Is that kind of what really made you see 10,000 as an
yeah. Yeah. And my husband helped me a lot with that, because I would get just naturally just really down and think that this isn't what I should be doing. But, he would say just that it takes time and you're not going to make 10 grand a month right off the bat. So, just keep working at it, and just having that positive reinforcement and, that cheerleading squad behind you, it's huge. It really helps to keep you going.
I love it. And then I think you said something too that I kind of want to, and I hope you're okay with me going back to what I think is really the overarching theme of this interview. And that's, helping people who might battle depression. So you tapped on something else, Macarena, and you said it was good for you emotionally. And again, I want to help someone else who is going through the journey I'm going to start using the word battle. I'm going to start using the word journey. I'm going to coin that right now, okay? You're going through the journey you're going through, So what do you mean it was good emotionally for you? And because, again, I want to try to, for lack of a better word, push someone over the edge who may be going through some of the same journeys that you're going through emotionally. So what do you mean emotionally that it helped you?
I think emotionally, just little by little, it gave me confidence in myself, which is something that I never had, or I struggle with my whole life. And just the little bit of confidence that I would get month by month, it's so good for me. It's so good for my health and, my mental health. I was diagnosed a really long time ago, and I have had some really low lows to the point of, hospitalization. And then right before I started this, I lost my dad, and that I still struggle with 6 years later. So this just gave me so much freedom, and not just financially, but it gave me a mental freedom that I can take care of myself more, that I'm not stressed out, that I'm not miserable at what I'm doing. I love what I do now. I absolutely love it. And I never thought I would find something like that for myself.
I love it, Macarena. I think first off, again, thank you for being so vulnerable and real. And I know this is helping someone else watching and listening. What you said was beautiful. Like you've lacked confidence in your whole life, but yet this has brought you confidence. Each win in this business, every signing, every moment of accomplishment, every new client, every paycheck, like it's just building your confidence. And I never saw it from that vantage point. And I think it's amazing, but I can see it now. And I hope some other people understand that, like, when you own your own business, there's so much self-worth that's created, right? There's so much, like you said, I can do it. Like, this is me. And I think that's the best part of owning a business, is like you're realizing that it's because of your efforts and my energy that I'm doing this. But from someone who's going through the same emotional journey you are, to know how profound that is on you is absolutely a beautiful thing. And I hope some people are inspired by that, because I mean, Macarena, that was really, really deep. So thank you for sharing that.
I hope so. I hope it inspires people. It's possible, you know. There's no reason why you shouldn't be successful. There's no reason why you can't start this business and be a success and make it work for you.
Yeah, and I think your husband, hit it on the head. Like, this is a marathon, right? You don't need to be. We have so many of these interviews where people make $10,000 in the second month. Like, that's okay if you're not making $10,000 in your second month as a signing agent. It took you 24 months to get there, and that's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can talk to me about something else, by the way, because we have the most successful LSS student out of wonderful Colorado, Robin Schmidt, I think a friend of both of ours. What I'd like to know is, how come you didn't see someone else's success as your failure? How come you were inspired by Robin versus like discouraged that she's just out of the moon on this? Kind of talk through that, because I think it's important.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say that it didn't discourage me, because if I'm being honest, of course it did. There was many months where, each month when you see those huge numbers, and I would always tell my husband, like, look at this person, how much money they're making. That's insane. And I would think to myself, there's no way I could ever do that. I'm never going to reach that. Some months I felt like I worked my tail off and didn't reap as much as I thought maybe I would have or should have, I guess. And so there were many times where it did discourage me. But on the flip side, of course, it encouraged me. I was like, I can absolutely do this. Like, there's no reason why I can't. Why can they do it and not me? So but it's up to you. This is your business. If you don't do it, who else is going to? It takes a lot of hard work, but I'm okay with that because it's mine.
Well, first off, again, you're so raw, and I love it. You're straight up saying, look, I was discouraged, but on the flip side, I also was encouraged. So I love the openness of like, yes, 100%. I was like, oh my gosh, how come I'm not reaching those numbers? What I think is beautiful about you is there's some people who can take that discouragement and go the opposite direction, right? And quit and give up. You're admitting you got discouraged. But what's cool about it is you use that discouragement actually as motivation versus crawling into a hole, and I think that's beautiful. And I hope a lot of people are inspired by that. And I think it's even more beautiful because of the personal journey that you're going through emotionally, that you're still able to say, okay, look, they did X amount of money. I did it, but gosh darn it, if they can do it, I can't. So Macarena, you're getting more superhero by the moment.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a steady, uphill. Even so, there's many months where I look back at my logs and I can see there was many months where I did absolutely nothing, and that would have been an easy point to stop and quit. But I didn't. Actually, I don't know if you remember, but there was a time where I deleted my membership because I thought, man, this isn't going to go anywhere. I don't need to keep paying a monthly payment. I'll just decline that and stop payment. So again, I had many opportunities, many moments where I could have just stopped the whole thing and just given up.
Well, gosh, this is awesome. So yes, I do remember that, by the way. And I remember talking to you again later saying, girl, you can do this. Let's get back in there. And what I do want to say to you, Macarena, which is a very good testament to being a businesswoman, is you're coachable. Where all, the best saying that I love is all successful people are the most coachable. And so, even when you're down and you quit, and I got in there and tried to encourage you and tell you you're able to take the coaching. And that's an amazing testament to who you are as a businesswoman, by the way. And I want to make sure I don't overstate that, because it's the truth. But what I want to say is a couple things. And again, this journey is amazing. So if people are watching this right now and you're a student, you had months, you just said, plural, where you did 0 signings.
Yeah.
Talk through those months. Talk through, Okay, then I would like you to also talk through about how you kind of resurrected yourself from the standpoint of like you quit LSS, for lack of a better word, you quit the business, but then you got back in. So what made you get back on the horse, for lack of a better analogy, and talk about your feelings when you had 0 appointments? Because you're not the only student who goes through 0 appointments.
Yeah. When I had those months of 0 appointments, I mean, that like brought me down to a really low because I just felt like whatever work I put into this was all for nothing. I'm a failure. And I didn't want to tell anybody, what I was doing. As a matter of fact, I'm just not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable sharing that I do this or how great it's going and all that good stuff, because I'm afraid to, a month down the line, not have that. And people will be like, oh, well, she just failed. So this isn't even something that I post on my Facebook. Like, I just don't do that. So yeah, those months were really, really hard. And what got me back into it was I wasn't a part of the 6-figure Facebook page anymore, but I was still a part of other pages. And so I was continuously still seeing, people's success stories and also hearing other people's stories that I related to and the fact that they kept going. And so that really does help. And so I decided to get back on your program, and all the nuggets that I take from your program have worked. They have brought me more business. And and there's so much more that I can still do from this point on. Being in the mortgage industry before, I have a lot of connections, but I've yet to reach out to those connections even still, because I fear that I will mess something up for them because I know them personally and I don't want them to hire me to be their closer and screw something up. Or I'd rather do that with somebody I don't know.
Again,
a lot of connections that I haven't even reached out to.
It's funny, and I think it's, again, you're being so raw and honest in this interview. It's like, there's still a level of self-doubt you have, even though you're a $14,000 a month signing agent, which I think is real. And I think people need to hear it. And I think people need to understand that you're not alone if you have self-doubt. You're not alone if you go through some of the emotional struggles. And those are normal feelings to have. They're normal emotions to have. I think that, people have this weird idea that successful people are robots and successful people don't have emotions and successful people don't. And no, there's self-doubt. I get self-doubt. I mean, everyone gets, it's like not real if you don't get self-doubt. And so I appreciate you talking through that because, hopefully it inspires someone else that you're listening to a $14,000 a month signing agent and she's telling you the real honest feelings, and those feelings are okay. And I'm just so glad you got back in the program. I'm glad you got on the phone with me. But dude, I mean, you're going to do 6 figures this year. Like, that's insane.
I don't know. We'll see. I hope so.
I got to keep changing that mindset. You will. I mean, I hope people get inspired. In the beginning of your journey, you literally quit.
Yeah.
Literally went through months, but you came back on the other end. I hope people are inspired by this. So if you're thinking about quitting, if you're getting discouraged, let Macarena let you know that if you stick with it.
Yes, you can. You can do this. You're not alone and you can do this. And I am more than happy to help anybody or answer any questions or, just talk to somebody. It doesn't, just reach out to me if you need to. That doesn't bother me at all.
I love it. Well, this is going to be on YouTube, so maybe people will take you up on it. So jump in the comments when it goes on. Yeah. But this is beautiful. Okay, so let's continue the second half. So your first year, there's some serious moments. There was ups. You quit. You made $10,000. Let's kind of talk about your second year. So your income, what does your income kind of start looking like that second year of the business?
The first half of last year was my second year, remained the same as my first. I wasn't making more than $1,000, maybe a little more. It wasn't until the second half that I started to make $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, and then I just started kind of steadily making about $6,000, $7,000.
Okay, so that was the second half of 2019. And then your business obviously exploded in 2020. So,
but not until June
okay.
of this year.
Okay. So the first half of 2020, I had to do some quick math in my head. So the first half of 2020, you're doing $5,000-$6,000.
Yeah.
And then June, July, August, September, October, that is when your business just went 10 grand, 10 grand, 12 grand, 11 grand, 14 grand.
Yes. Yeah. And the 5, 6, 7 grand, even 5 grand a month was still a huge win. I mean, that's more than double of what I was making working a full-time job Monday through Friday. So that in itself was still a win,
Yes. And I hope everyone just picked up on what happened. They're very subtle. The mindset of a six-figure signing agent is you literally stopped me and said, Mark, 5 grand was still a win.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mindset. And I don't want that being overlooked, because that's what successful people do. You didn't see, again, 5 grand as a failure. You like literally said, Mark, stop. 5 grand was amazing. And so people understand that if you make 5 grand, that's a great thing. Just be encouraged by the Macarenas of the world who are doing $10,000, $14,000 a month. Don't be discouraged by it. If you're having a $5,000 month, congratulations, right?
Yeah. That's still more than what you make, at a full-time office job.
Okay.
And along with all the other benefits it brings, that you make your own schedule, that if you want to take a day off, you can. I mean, you control so much of it.
Okay. So let's talk about this. Is about getting part of your journey, right? I know you started marketing direct in a title offices by yourself, and as someone who goes through the emotional journey that you do, who experiences anxiety, who experiences downs, meaning that if someone says no, that might, trigger something. Mm-hmm. I want to talk to someone else who has those same, that goes through the same emotional journey as you do. So talk about, what I want to talk about is what feelings did you have before you started to go market direct? Just talk about that out of the gate.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to do it for so long, but I couldn't. And
what do you mean? I'm going to stop you there. What do you mean by you couldn't?
I physically couldn't. There was just so much anxiety. I just felt like I would look stupid, or they would, of course they're going to say no. Some people are going to say no, but I couldn't, I didn't think I could handle that. And just the thought of walking in and introducing myself, and maybe them asking me something that I wouldn't know how to answer would just cancel the whole thing, and I wouldn't ever get a call from these people. So there was a lot of doubt, a lot of things running through my mind. And when I decided to actually go into an office, I remember feeling sick to my stomach in my car, just wanting to throw up before I got out. I could feel my heart pounding in my throat. I didn't think I could do it. But I mean, I have yet to come across somebody that was rude, somebody who, didn't pay no mind. So that was helpful.
I love it. I think you hit on so many good points. They're just human like us, right? We have so much built up, preconceived idea of what's going to happen. Then you go and you're like, wow, that didn't really play out like it played out in my head, right? Okay, but I want to talk to someone real quick. I want to take one step back a little bit, because I want to talk to the Macarena out there who has anxiety because of the emotional journey that they go on personally. Mm-hmm. How did you, if you remember, go from years, plural, of like not wanting to market direct, right? You had literally years of like, I can't do it. What helped you to push you over the edge to like go do it? Because I'm hoping maybe someone else who has that same anxiety might get inspired. So what was the moment, or how did you do it? Like, talk about your mindset in that moment.
Well, in my experience, initially I couldn't do it because of all the anxiety and such. When I decided to finally go market myself, it was with somebody that I used to work with in the mortgage industry, and he's a lender, and they were having a meeting with different companies come in and introduce themselves and such. So I took him up on that opportunity, and I went in, and now out of that I got a lender that uses me as her preferred lender for all of her closings. And so I think just putting myself out there and getting a win, just one, was was helpful and good for me. And each time you do that, you just build a little more confidence, and it gets easier, and it's better, to put yourself out there.
Well, I think you're saying some amazing stuff, whether you go through the emotional journey of depression or if you don't. I think you're saying something very powerful, and you just stack small wins, right? And so I think anyone could use that advice, right? I mean, you don't need to hit a home run every time. What I heard is you utilized kind of a personal network for that first kind of baby step in a direct marketing. I think that's another good piece of advice. So many new students think, oh, I have to go walk into a title company cold. And it's like kind of an all or nothing mentality versus, dude, there's some baby steps in there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you've been in the mortgage industry or not. We all know a realtor. We all know a lender somewhere in our family or friends. This notion that we got to jump directly into like cold marketing is so unnecessary.
Right.
And I think you said it perfect. You started with a personal network. You built that confidence. And then from that confidence, you're like, okay, I'm going to start building outwards. And so since the moment of that first marketing through a personal network, have you walked in a title company's cold?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Now I work directly with about 5 different title companies consistently. And those came to me. I would say 3 of them came to me because I walked in myself. The other 2, they came naturally because I'm bilingual and I speak Spanish, and they seeked me out. I worked directly with them for a while until, I just felt like I needed to take it to another level. Like I was just kind of standing right here. And I just wanted to take it to another level. And so
here's what I heard. Okay. What I heard is it took you 2.5 years to market to a title company cold. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? I want other people to hear that. Like, I want other people to be like, there's no right or wrong way of building this business. It took you 2.5 years before you created the courage to make it, and you're now making $14,000 a month. Yeah. There's nothing written that you need to start marketing direct after 6 months. There's nowhere written that you need to start going cold into title companies after a year. That's what's the word I'm looking for? That's something we play in our own head, right? Versus 2 years, 2.5 years until you marketed cold. Like, that's beautiful in my opinion. It really is. Yeah. Like, your journey is a beautiful journey, and people, I hope, are inspired by it.
Yeah, there is no written rule of how fast you should go. I mean, any level of pace, you're still moving, and just do what's comfortable for you. This is your business. You can do what you want with it. And, when you're ready, and you'll make that step and take it to the next level.
Any level of pace, you are still moving.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're a quote machine. That is fire. That is fire. You're right. Any level of pace, as long as you're moving, and the pace isn't relevant at the fact that you're moving. And that might be a slogan on this year's conference shirts. No big deal. Okay. Yes, you get a free one. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, look, so far this has been an inspirational talk. Thank you again for talking about, I think I said in the beginning, and I'll say it again, is mental health awareness needs to be more of a topic in conversation in America. There are too many people battling this behind the scenes, and there's no need to. And
I just want, people to know that, if they battle depression or bipolar depression like I do, and there's so many negative thoughts that come into your mind that hold you back, that keep you down, that make you want to quit, that make you want to just stop this whole thing. Just keep going. Make a little effort one day, and you'll be amazed at what that does for you, and making mistakes and all that good stuff. It's all okay. It's all okay. We're all going to make mistakes. I still freaking make mistakes all the time. I just play it off. I'm like, sorry. I wasn't thinking right.
Like I said, I mean, the biggest takeaway I have from this interview is it's all about stacking small wins. And that advice is for anybody. Like, it doesn't matter to me if you are going through an emotional journey or you are blessed not to. Like, it's just, stacking wins is such a great, great piece of advice, Macarena. I don't think you know how powerful that is, because I think everybody always tries to get the big wins.
Yeah.
And that almost is what sets them up for failure. It's because if you don't hit the big win, then you failed.
Mm-hmm.
But if you always stack in those small wins, then you almost can never fail.
Right.
And so just dropping fire. I love it. This whole notary thing doesn't work out. You might have like a motivational career in front of you.
Oh, right.
Okay. So, let's kind of go into the next part, which is advice. This is where it gets good, right? So, you're going to be a six-figure signing agent. What is one piece of advice you would give anybody who's trying to build a signing agent business right now, coming from you, that would help them build a business?
I would say to be able to be flexible. Don't constrict yourself. Don't be, an agent that says, I'm not going to drive, an hour that way for them, or it was past 5 o'clock, so I'm not going to take that, or, whatever it may be. Just be willing to go that extra mile, because the escrow officers, they recognize that and they appreciate that. And that will only come back to you tenfold. All the goodness that you do will just come back to you. So just, go the extra mile.
Right. So let's inspire people more with that, because I think there is what's the word I'm looking for? A myth that every notary goes the extra mile.
Mm-hmm.
And you're someone who works for 5 title companies now, who has a direct lender, a lender who makes them the preferred notary. Can you inspire them by saying, look, like not all notaries are good notaries.
No.
Right.
Many times where I've had escrow agents call me and say, hey, do you mind going back out to this closing for us? There was a mistake done on the original closing. Do you mind going back out and fixing that? Yeah, sure.
Right.
That wasn't my mistake, but absolutely, I'll go back out and fix it for you. And I don't charge them anything extra for that, because I do want to genuinely help them. And I know that they appreciate that, and that it comes back to me.
I think you said something again very subtly that I want everyone to hear. Is you said you genuinely want to help them.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the mindset of every six-figure signing agent. When it stops becoming about the money, mm-hmm. and it starts coming about what you said, like you literally said it so authentically, like you almost didn't probably realize you said it. It's like, that's my point, right? It's like, it's so authentic to you that you genuinely want to help someone. And I think I wanted to stop and pull that out, because that is the mindset of a six-figure signing agent. It's not about the money with you.
No.
Am I correct?
Well, absolutely. No, I love to help. I want to help them develop their business and make their business greater. And on a personal level also, like, I just want to help people. I just, when I first started this, I was introduced to the notary signing agent position when we refinanced, and that gal gave me a business card and said, here, call her. She'll help you get started and kind of guide you. Okay. So I called her. She was really nice, told me how to get my commission. I went and got my commission. I called her back, and I was asking her what my next step was, what I should do. And she stopped me and said, well, let me ask you this. Are you reaching out to me because you want to work for me, or are you trying to do this on your own? And I told her, oh, well, yeah, I'd like to start my own business. This is what I'm doing it for. Not realizing, now I get that she was running a signing service. But she frankly told me, well, then I can't, with all due respect, I can't give you any more information, because I wasn't going to be an employee of hers. She didn't want me, I guess, to take any business from her. I don't know. And that's why once I got my commission, another reason why I just stopped. I didn't do anything with my commission. I got it in 2016. I didn't start signing until 2018. So because that really threw me for a loop. I thought, how rude. Right. Why would you not want to help somebody? It
comes so innately to some. And that's a beautiful part about your spirit. In this whole interview, I can see your authenticity. I can feel where you kind of don't want to say something, but you feel like you need to because it will help somebody else.
Yeah.
And I can sense it. And I think that's what makes it beautiful. Right. And, and so I've always told all you students is like, all I do is bring out of you what you naturally have. And that's amazingness and greatness. And for you, it's this willingness to help others.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was saying, is I think the common thread, like the Robin Schmitz, the Melissa Martinez, you know who I'm talking about, like you included, you all have the spirit of wanting to help others. And I really want that to come out in this interview. It's, as much as I highlight the money to inspire others, none of you are motivated by that $14,000 number, the $15,000 number. You're motivated by the desire to help other people. And in return, you're obviously helping yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what a lot of things should be. You just help people. Just be kind. There's no reason to be rude. There's no reason to not help somebody. Nobody woke up one day and knew everything about being a signing agent. So in my mind, I thought, somebody helped this lady get started. Why is she being that way and not wanting to help me? And so that's just a really huge pet peeve of mine.
It's one of mine too. It's why I started my training courses, right? It's still why I keep my training courses as affordable as I possibly can. It's like, I'm here to help as many signing agents as I can. And today, Macarena, you're helping so many signing agents. So I'm so excited. But no, I mean, that was an amazing piece of advice. And I think, like, again, to kind of bring it back to the advice of being flexible and going the extra mile is the reason that's such a powerful statement is because most signing agents don't go the extra mile.
Right.
And I don't want to beat it to a pulp here, but they are calling you to ask you to fix another notary's error.
Mm-hmm.
The point isn't that the notary made the error. The point is that they're not going back to that notary to fix the error because that notary is not willing to go the extra mile. Right. That's what I hope is not missed by you saying that. They're calling Macarena to fix another notary's error because that notary isn't willing to go the extra mile, or what you call being flexible. And so amazing. As a lot of people, everybody on here is like, well, I would do that anyways. Well, you have the mindset of a six-figure signing agent. So congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's kind of go into our last part of this conversation. Again, thank you so much. And to inspire people even more, this is a Saturday afternoon. I know that your husband, thank you for giving us some time today. But you had signings in the morning. How many signings did you have this morning?
Yeah, 3.
3 signings. So she made a casual $500, before a Saturday afternoon. No big deal. Okay. Say that again.
I said, I'll pay for dinner tonight.
I love it. Okay. So, but look, I'll end it with this. And I said it before we hit record on here is you're going to be a $20,000 a month signing agent. And I want you to really embrace that. And, saying it out loud is okay. And saying it to yourself and saying it to others that you're a successful signing agent is beyond okay. This isn't going away, Macarena. I'm going to tell you right. I told you that months ago, actually. When you first hit 10K, you messaged me. You probably don't remember. And you're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to do it next month. And I said, Macarena, you've built a sustainable business. And what has happened?
Yeah, just keeps growing.
Keeps growing. It's exactly what I told you. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. It's going to keep growing. And if you're ready for the moment, you know what signing service is in your future. And the lady who didn't help you 3 years ago, well, now you've helped other signing agents. And it's very nice of you to say anyone can reach out to you. This will be on YouTube. This will be everywhere. So Macarena, I cannot wait to see you and the hubby in January. It's going to be awesome. So, dude, all I can say is thank you. I just think this interview was amazing. I hope you enjoyed it as well, Macarena.
I did. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It does inspire somebody, and that it makes them feel like they're not alone, because it makes me feel that way. That first YouTube video that I did, I'm just blown away by people's comments and the things that they're saying. And so I hope that I brought them some light and for them to know that they're not alone and that they can do this too. And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's really okay,
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm speechless and I'm like never speechless. I'm here if you ever need anything, you know that.
Thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done and all your guidance and all of your humbleness. So you've been amazing.
All right. Well, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. Until you're I'll be high. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.